I just want to eat normally. I want to stop constantly thinking about food and being controlled by food. This is what I hear a lot of people tell me. Hi, I'm Kellee Waters, the Mind and Body Architect, and I wanted this for myself for decades, just like most of my clients. And I tried to do this through dieting and following all of the rules. For far too long, food wasn't about nutrition for me. It was the central focus of what I weighed. I always saw food as something to be controlled, otherwise it controlled me. I was afraid of it, and it was my enemy. I would restrict, deprive, and punish myself with food and exercise. Then, on the flip side, when I wasn't perfect, then I would throw up my hands, rebel, and binge. Food was a tool to soothe, comfort, avoid, numb, dampen, manage my stress and my emotions. And for 34 years, food, my body, and myself were in constant conflict with each other. I lived in an internal world that wasn't safe. And in fact, it was like living in a toxic or abusive relationship. At times, there were as many as 5 or more competing voices for control. You're not good enough. What's wrong with you? You're a failure. You're weak. You deserve. You don't deserve. You've had a stressful day. Oh, it's all too hard. You're not working hard enough. No, I wasn't schizophrenic or split personality. So these were all of the voices and parts of me that were actually fractured. I had become so weighed down by the secrets of living the lies of being happy on the outside and miserable on the inside, and it was damaging my soul. Each year, I was losing more and more of myself to the lies, the secrets, and the internal battle that was raging. As I said, this went on for 34 years until I reached my breaking point. I had lost hope, and I was giving up on myself. I had tried to break free of this burden for so long, and I'd failed so many times. I was exhausted. Does any of this sound familiar to you? I bet that you can relate to some of this so far. Well, I hit rock bottom. I was a food addict with binge eating disorder, and I was obese. I was sitting in my lounge room binging one night, as normal. I was having one of my faves, which was garlic bread dripping with butter and lots of garlic, a creamy pasta wine, and a tub of ice cream in the freezer ready for dessert. When, out of the blue, a voice shouted in my head. I couldn't ignore it. I tried, but I kept repeating with intensity. And the word that came to me was brain chemistry. And this stopped me in my tracks, including my binge. And from that moment on, I began to research. This was the beginning of my entire life changing. This is the moment that I realized that this was a major piece of the puzzle to resolving my internal battle with food, myself, and my body for over 34 years that I'd been struggling with. So for the first time, my perspective shifted, and I started getting unstuck. I knew that I had to do things differently than I had ever done before if I was going to truly turn things around. So I remember the day that I accepted and truly saw myself for the very first time in the mirror. Prior to this, because I had always been disconnected fragmented. I only saw parts of me or objectified myself. I think you understand that. But in this moment, I suddenly felt whole and a great sense of peace washed over me. Everything was quiet and weightless. The emotional and mental weight that I had been carrying around for my entire life just disappeared. It was liberating, and I cried with relief. But this wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning. I still needed to heal and do all of the work on myself to become truly whole and connected with myself and my emotions. My self-acceptance meant that I was no longer afraid to feel and see myself. So it set myself up on the path for self-discovery and healing so that I could turn my life around 180 degrees. And within 6 months, I lost 20 kilos, which is around 44 pounds. And I was able to get rid of most of my food addiction and reduce my binging by balancing my brain chemistry. I was learning how to eat for my body and listen to my body. Now that was for the first time. Within 12 months, I lost more than 35 kilos, which is around 77 pounds. But honestly, I don't know how much I weighed when I started this process because I wasn't interested. I wasn't doing it for anything else. I was doing it for me. But I went down 5 dress sizes or clothing sizes, and finally I had a healthy relationship with food, my body, and myself. And I've never looked back. Since 2009, I have maintained my clothing size and results, and I'm in the 1% of people who have achieved this successfully. I have gone on to share my secrets with my clients who have successfully achieved similar results. I hope that my story will inspire you to believe that it's possible for you to create positive and healthy relationships with food, your body, and yourself. I am here to tell you that it's all possible if you are willing to do things differently by learning a different way. And you can read my full story by clicking on the link. I invite you to explore my current program offerings so that you can create a life of joy around food and create the life that you've been dreaming of. Because remember, it's possible. Not sure where to start? Schedule a free discovery call with me, and together we'll discover the next best steps for you so that you can rescue your relationship with food.